Love-struck Romeo sings the streets and serenade, playing everybody low with a love song that he made. Finds a convenient street light, steps out of the shade, says something like, "You and me, babe, how about it?" Juliet says, "Hey, it's Romeo. He nearly gave me a heart attack. He's underneath the window, saying, hey, now my boyfriend's back. Shouldn't come around here singing up to people like that. Anyway, what you gonna do about it?" Juliet, when we made love, we used to cry. You said I love you like the stars above. I love you till I die. There's a place for us. You know the movie song. Different streets, both the streets of shame. Oh daddy, over me, cause the dream's just the same. I dream for you, and now your dream's real. How could you look at me as if I was just another one of your deals? You can fall for chains of silver, you can fall for chains of gold, you can fall for pretty strangers, and the promises they hold. You promise me everything. You promised me thick and thin. Now you say, oh, Romeo, yeah. I used to have a scene with him. Juliet, the dice was loaded from the start. And I bet, and you exploded into my heart. And I forget, your song. When you gonna realize it was just the time was wrong? Struck Romeo, sing the streets of serenade, laying everybody low with a love song that he made. Finds a convenient street light, steps out of the shade, says something like, you and me, babe, how about it? You and me, bud, how about it? Huh? Yeah, mate. That was a definite maybe, by the way, just in case you're all unsure. Heaps of cheap seats up the back, guys. You might not be able to see anything, but you never know. No, you can see stuff from up there, I swear. It's okay, you're doing really well. I scared the crap out of her, and I hope she comes back. Well, one more song, isn't it? I wonder if I did. Ooh, okay, right.
Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the bloody show. Tonight's the night. Welcome to the network. Welcome to the Queen Elizabeth studio. Now tonight, that's Elizabeth I, don't forget. I'm the Duke, and I can promise you're in for a treat. Our first guest, none other than the Bill himself, Mr. William Shakespeare! Yes! Yes! Yeah. Bit of a look at me, my 22 plays, look at my rhyming triplets, bit of a total twat. But ladies, he's hot, so be excited. Whew, a lot of excitement. Next up, let me put this another way. Who here has heard of Francis Bacon? Yeah. Sorry, not the painter. Anyone? No? No. All right. Well, he's the posh one, right? And according to the network, posh is in. Thanks, Downton Abbey. So be nice to him. All right. Oh, that reminds me. Tonight you don't have to worry about sticking your hands up. Tonight you can leave your phones on. Oh, phones in the theatre. That's the first day, isn't it? I mean, I don't mean I want to hear all night, but you can tweet me as we go along at hashtag Shakespeare Tonight. The more the merrier. So here's the sort of thing I mean. How many Hamlets does it take to change a light bulb? Tweet your answers in, and don't forget the old hashtag. Come on, doesn't have to be genius. It's not snail mail, fuck. Okay. To change or not to change? That is the question. It's unbelievably bad. Thank you. Yes, unbelievably bad. But thank you. Who was that? Was that you? Oh, shit, he doesn't know. He's asking his wife. Oh, she doesn't know either. Now he's asking his mistress. No, just kidding, wifey. Of course it's not his mistress. They're just good friends. Moving swiftly on. So, tweets are good. Keep them coming. But no texting your mates to find out the footy scores or looking up porn. You got enough on your plate, mate. Tonight's the night. And our host is, of course, everyone's favourite soap stud, Miss Martina Fleur. Watch out, those bubbles can bite. All right. One last thing before I go. This Hamlet, Will's new play, word on the street is it really is a tragedy. I mean, really is a tragedy. But keep that. All right, so you're on the other side.
Wow, he's so wow, and he's just
No time for that. It's our last chance. Remember, final show. Tickle, tickle, grab him by the balls.
Yeah, see, you want me to grab Shakespeare's balls? Live on television.
Start with your cute and cuddly, but then squeeze. We need the ratings, Martina. Big numbers.
My numbers stack up.
Yeah, they should. You know, probably would if you were one of the boys. But first ever female host on the show, daring to break their magic formula, our numbers need to be twice as good, and you know it.
I deserve a second series.
Of course you do. It's just...
Joan of Arc.
Oh, you weren't to know she was on crack.
I've blown it!
It's not your fault, Tiger. It's those crappy Z-listers they keep sending us.
Yeah, and I wonder why. I mean, remember Henry
Yeah,
Dent?
we wanted Anne Boleyn.
Turned out to be
Anne of Cleves. 101 Secrets of Sauerkraut. But not tonight. I've sucked every cock from here to Hollywood. We're on.
You've actually sucked.
Of course, just a figure of speech. I don't suck. Period. Oh, Jesus, get that image out of your head right now. Tonight's the night. Shakespeare versus Bacon, the rematch.
Yeah, this is going to work, Jane.
Will and Frank, they hate each other.
Yeah, but if he doesn't know about him, I mean, shouldn't we have at least...
Leave Will to me.
Yeah, but what if he decides to just...
Trust me. He's got a lot of tickets to sell.
Yeah, I really bloody hope so.
Martina, the whole network's watching best behaviour, no swearing.
Jane, Will uses like 6 Fs and the C word every time he opens his mouth.
I'll talk to the tech boys. You know the sign? We'll get a 7-second delay. Ready to squeeze?
God, I had posters of him on my bedroom wall.
He's a catch.
Well, he's married.
Not tonight, he's not. Just another prick with a dick. What do I want?
Blood, sweat and tears.
That's right, Tiger. We need all 3. You ready?
Yeah, I think so.
Dig out what you can about that year off and his new direction.
What about his father? I mean, something there doesn't add up.
No family.
What? No family?
I promised his people.
Jane! God, look, I've been working night and day on this.
Relax. We've got enough. Loosen him up, then hit him with the conspiracy stuff.
I want the network to take me seriously. I want him to take me seriously.
If they fancy you, they'll take you as seriously as you like.
All right. How do I look?
Dynamite.
Yeah, and my hair?
Your hair's fine. Balls, squeeze, second series.
All from you's of fire! Strap on your cod pieces and tighten your hose. Tonight's the night. Size really does matter, and we've got the willy to prove it. But first, here's your host, the smile on all of our dials, the damsel in the dress, Miss Martina Fuller.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Evening, Jude.
Evening.
Welcome to Tonight's the Night, the show that strolls nonchalantly in where angels fear to tread. Tonight's guests really are something special, and dare I say it, a couple of spunks. First, a playwright, a poet, a painter of words, but certainly no pen pusher. Once more unto the breach, dear friends, all the world's a stage, to live or not to live. Please welcome the Bard of Avon, Mr. William Shakespeare.
Good evening! Hello, mate. How are you? Hello. Look at you, beautiful. Take your seats.
Thank you. William, great to have you on the show.
Yeah, it's great to be here.
Oh, it's an incredible few years. Box office records all over the town. How are you feeling?
Rich. Playing to packed houses every night. It doesn't get much better than that.
It's quite phenomenal. Hamlet, your new play, is just opened, but can I take you back?
To your place.
To Stratford.
Back to the beginning.
Yes, your childhood.
Well, I was a bit of a tearaway when I was young, Martina. Always skipping school, getting into scrapes, that sort of stuff.
Ooh, your father. Your father was a glove maker.
Correct. With a tanner's yard out the back, us chewing the leather to make it soft. Worst job in the world. The smell.
Yet you're on record as saying theatre was your destiny.
No, what I actually said was fate. Stratford didn't have much destiny back then, but, Nottingham wasn't far away. The Goose Fair, its mystery plays, my kind of town. Afterwards, I'd hide up in the attic for hours, whole days sometimes, turn into my own playhouse. We'd go off to war, discover exotic isles. I was free.
How old were you when you moved in with Anne?
Not old enough.
Was it hard?
Well, on Mum, yes, but when I moved out, I knew. I was ready for anything.
Yet this is your first time on television. Can I ask why?
A perfect face for radio.
Dad jokes. Oh. Well, your face certainly fits now. Billboards all over town.
Times change.
Is it true you rode naked across the stage to get your first break?
Two things in life are true, Martina. Everybody loves Italian food
And nobody likes a smart ass.
Thank you, Duke.
Look, I've been lucky to work with all the greats over the years. All the Henrys, both the Richards. But back then, I was just another nobody from nowhere, Come to seek his fortune. No contacts, no money, no bloody idea. And everything was smaller then. No Ye Merry England's Got Talent, that's for sure.
Or the Globe.
When I first started, we used to go around collecting all the rotten vegetables they throw at us so we can make a soup after the show.
No unions back then, eh, Will?
No onions either. I was learning the ropes, Martina. Bit parts, props, prompter, whatever I could, really.
Naked riding.
My first boss was into horses. That's all I'm going to say about it.
Your lost years.
Lost? No, not at all. A little bit worse for wear, maybe, but I always knew where I was, give or take a bottle.
Did you ever think of becoming a serious actor?
There's no such thing as serious actors.
Oh, come on, William. When I was in London a few years back, I saw you greased up on stage almost every night.
Well, you shouldn't have been looking. Yeah, I do the odd bit just to keep my hand in, narrator, choruses, that kind of thing, but I could never be the lead. I'm happy behind the scenes.
Which is why you turned to writing?
Well, I was with the Lord Chamberlain's men. One day, I just sat down, jug of claret, my desk box and my notebook, and for some reason, It just came. I wrote and I wrote and I wrote.
Like with Hamlet.
Sort of.
We were there for opening night.
Right, so you understand. I wrote and the rest is...
History.
silence. You left before the end.
Well, I stayed 3 hours.
You
Second interval.
You missed the most important part.
Everybody dies.
I'm going again tomorrow.
Everybody dies, I'm telling you.
Or do they? Yeah, I guess they do. Doesn't matter. I have bought you a gift.
Really?
It's not out yet, so...
Oh, wow! Shakespeare's greatest hits! Oh, thank you very much indeed. Oh, a noble duke in nature as in a name. So, Hamlet, your 22nd play?
And let's hope it's not my last.
Yes.
Available in ABC stores and all leading retailers.
In little over 10 years, that's incredible.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, but it is, especially with the time off. You know, for your break.
Sabbatical.
It was over a year.
But now I am back, doing television for the first time.
Yes, you are. And you chose us, isn't that right, Jude?
Absolutely, Martina.
Critics are calling you the soul of an age. Hit after hit.
And don't forget the children's stories.
Yeah, fairy tales.
Oh, fantasy, I like to call them. But mark my words, Martina. One day, wizards' schools and lords with rings, there'll be big money in that one.
So many fingers in so many pies. Oh, rumour has it you're even starting your own band.
You have been doing your research. It's just me and a few of the boys, the bards.
Well, any gigs we should be looking out for?
It's just down the Mermaid, covers mostly, but I get to jump around a bit.
Oh, is this why we've seen music feature more and more in your work?
No, music's always been there. Poetry is music, language is music. Music is the beating heart. I mean, how a monologue sounds is not in the words, it's in the alliteration, the assonance, the harmonies. Do you know, as cavemen, we could sing and write music before we ever learned how to read or write.
Oh. So your musical interludes
They're not
are...
interludes. There's so much more than that.
If music be the food of love.
Yeah, correct. Music is no make-weight. It's an act in its own right. A whole show even. A musicale.
The sound of music.
Let's leave the titles to me, shall we?
Yes, but there's no music in Hamlet at all.
Well, that's the idea.
That's the idea.
Well, actually, ideas are the easy part. It's execution that's the key.
Ooh, off with their heads!
Leave that to Her Majesty. Oh, but timing too, of course. You can't beat good timing. See, if enough people start saying something, it becomes true, right?
Well, not...
No, correct. But if too many people say something, it becomes a cliche. You see what I mean?
Well, don't you ever get tired?
Exhausted. Sometimes I scribble so fast I can't think to keep up.
Hence your sabbatical.
Here's one. Scribble at school is scrawls like a drunken spiders. And as for creative spelling, that's from Dr. Braithwaite, your old English teacher.
Jolly Jack, don't listen to a word.
So let's see. Romeo and Juliet is on a record run in London. Much Ado is wooing audiences across the country.
I thought I was here to talk about my new work.
Yes, very much so. Hamlet opened this week. You said this is a new direction, a change, a tragedy. Why the change?
Well, it's a bridge, it's not a break.
Well, reviews have been mixed. Tell us, what's it about?
About an hour too long. It's a tweet.
Perhaps they're right if your early exit's anything to go by.
Well, it is a darker style. The Queen's censors claim it glorifies suicide.
Yeah, the Queen's censors can take a running jump. And that's no criticism of Her Majesty, of course. If you are watching, Mum. But let me make this straight, Martina. Neither I nor the play are in any way condoning suicide. Suicide is no joke. It's really dangerous.
There's a lot of blood.
And guts.
But But you've been so successful with your romances, comedies.
Look, forget the labels, Martina. The play's a thing, ladies and gentlemen. Go and see it. I mean, listen to Feste in a 12th Night, supposedly my new comedy. Tell me he's rolling in the aisles.
Sure.
Look, you're right, Martina. We did need to make some changes in rehearsal, and we are still tweaking. I mean, that's how it's been on all my shows. Sometimes it takes a whole season to get it right.
Oh, I understand that.
Do you?
Well,
You understand my work.
I try.
Enlighten me.
All right. Okay, well, you mentioned Feste and the debut of Robert Armin as your, if you'll forgive the label, fool, replacing the much-loved Will Kemp. Well, it ties in perfectly with your idea of comedy having a more sorrowful side.
Correct. Yeah, Robert's got that intensity.
Yeah, not just funny ha-ha.
He is incredible. The wisest of all us fools, I like to call him. Playwright, too, and a musician. He has been a revelation.
And Kemp?
Will is a comic genius. For slapstick, dance, jigs, nobody comes near him, but in many ways theatre has moved on.
Well, you referred to him as a father figure in your early years. Have you two had some sort of a falling out?
Here's an interesting one. Wasn't 12th Night originally called What You Will? Will Kemp?
Will Kemp, Will Shakespeare. I wasn't the one who chose to dance off into the sunset. I still wrote the Gravediggers for them both to play together. And there's no talking to some people.
More fool him. Duke?
Well, coming in thick and fast this evening, folks. This one's from At Night It Got Me Nowhere. He asks, William, is Hamlet mad? Or is he just another one of your fools?
Well, we're all a little bit mad, aren't we?
But shouldn't he be a hero?
Can't he be both? Like most men.
Do you really believe that?
Yeah, we all need a bit of yin with our yang, a bit of flavour with a quinoa.
Ah, the good Bill, bad Bill we've heard so much about.
Sorry.
Bad Bill, the casting couch you and Dickie Burbage used to run at the Rose.
No comment.
The 4 staff tours.
No comment.
But they're hardly secrets, William. The papers didn't leave much to the imagination.
Didn't they? And there are more things in heaven and earth,
You
Martin.
like to quote yourself.
Well, everybody else does. Look, here's the thing. There is a bad Bill. And yes, I love Bad Bill. And I know that means that I've got issues, but as I told Susanna, my oldest, when she turned 16, the problem with being yourself is not everybody's going to like you. Mind you, she is hard to like.
That's interesting advice, but that still doesn't explain Bad Bill.
Oh, pigeonholing, Martina. Aren't we all tired of Will with a quill?
But if all the world really is a stage...
What happens when the curtain comes down? Who cares? We are all consenting adults.
Do you ever feel guilty?
Nobody gets hurt.
Nobody.
Well, if you are referring to that time with the Countess of Pembroke,
the sweet swan.
it is hardly a criminal
I was thinking
offence.
about your wife, Anne.
Well, plenty of tweets on there, what? Lots about the histories.
Yeah, the histories. Everybody loves the history.
Glaring inaccuracies is coming up a lot. So is Tudor propaganda.
Look, history is his story, not his fact.
You do research.
Yeah, I'm all for proper history and her story. How do we know where we're going if we don't know where we've been? What I do is drama.
Yet, by regurgitating Hall and Holinshed
Referencing, Martina, referencing. I may spit, and in my youth when I needed the gig I may have swallowed, but I never regurgitate. Hall and Holinshed are merely frameworks.
Frameworks.
Sure. You know, I take the odd story and turn it into something new. Name me a writer who hasn't.
Chaucer, Sir Thomas More.
Dan Brown. He'd never steal an idea for a book.
Look, I turn them into something new by giving them my own style. I had to, they're part of who I am.
Mr. William Shakespeare.
Oh, Mr. William Shakespeare hashtag. You're officially trended.
So your plays are about you.
Me, you, the Duke, could be anybody, within reason.
On that note, let's take a break. William, how do you fancy joining the Duke in playing us out?
Join the Duke.
Yes, well, you said that Hamlet is a play with the music taken out of it, so we thought we might try to put some back in.
Come on, Will. It'll be fun.
Go on.
Come on.
After the the break, we'll be talking to none other than Francis Bacon. Legal, philosopher's philosopher, most human of humanists.
You said Francis Drake.
Yeah, he had to cancel the bowls practice.
But first, reviewers are calling it the scene that steals the show. So we thought we'd give you our very own sneak preview. For one night only, the Duke, the Bard, and Hamlet's madness.
I never thought I'd miss you quite as much as I do. I got to be near you every night, every day. I know that it's you I need to take the blues away. It must be love, love, love. It must be love, love, love. Nothing more, nothing less. Love is the best. Ah.
Wow! My second guest tonight deems the pen not just mightier than the sword, but also our moral compass. From child prodigy to a man for all seasons, Regius Professor and courtier to the Queen.
Ex-courtier.
Please put your hands together for Mr. Francis Bacon! Thanks for coming on the show.
My pleasure, even if I am the second guest.
Yes. Francis was going to open the show.
I forgive you.
Thank you. So, Trinity College, Cambridge, aged 12, a student at Europe's finest universities by 16, called to the bar.
Please, Martina, you're making me feel old.
But you've done so much. Groundbreaking scientific discoveries, definitive works on philosophy and theology, Queen's Counsel. No wonder they call you the father of learning.
Well, I suppose.
And that's without mentioning your latest project.
Bacon for breakfast.
Bacon for breakfast.
Everyone seems very excited.
You're too kind.
We love you, Frank. That one's from at Bacon's Babes. Saucy.
What's the secret of your success?
When we were concepting our show, I was determined to do something different. We'd get the stories from the stars, topical issues of the day, but I was convinced we had to really engage the audience, give them some ownership, if you like. I think that's what made it so great.
Old hands are saying you've reinvented the genre.
Oh, I wouldn't say that, Martina, but our mantra is that everybody's got a story, even at 6 o'clock in the morning. My talent is probably too grand a title. Why I'm lucky is that for some reason, people open up to me even when they don't mean to.
Ah, the famous bacon slicer.
Well, that's what the marketing boys like to use. But yes, perhaps I have the right nose for it. People start talking to me and don't seem to stop. Put them in a studio, the story becomes a narrative, becomes a journey.
You make it look effortless.
Please, and very nice of you to call me a spunk, by the way.
Yes, well, when I was last in London, you were engaged to Miss Elizabeth Hatton. But now, was that hard?
Dearest Elizabeth is very important to me, but deep down we knew it was not meant to be.
But it's not as if you're over the hill.
Why, thank you, Martina. Funnily enough, I've always considered old to be a concern of others.
You tell him Frank life begins at 40.
Take no notice of him, Martina.
Oh, but you're both about the same age.
Oh, give or take a year.
Yeah, or 10.
William's got a library, you know.
Oh.
Terrible story. Somebody broke in, stole both the books. And the worst thing was he'd only finished colouring one of them in.
I lent the other one to dearest Lizzie, didn't I, last time she came round?
Elizabeth wouldn't come knocking on your door, and you know it.
Only if she'd like to get off for a change.
Now.
Hopefully this year will be a new beginning.
Plenty more fish in the sea.
I'm in no rush. I don't think that would be fair on either of us. To me, marriage is sacrosanct. A hasty union can have such awful consequences.
You leave my marriage out of this.
Like you did when you moved to London.
I'm warning you.
And I'm warning you, Mr. Spear Shaker.
Finally figured out how to use that thing, did you?
Boys.
Martina. Oh, you've had your hair done. Martina, let me assure you and your viewers that Anne and I are like that. Is it tints or highlights? I don't care what anybody says. We will be together forever. And yes, we did get married when I was young. We had children very early, and with me moving down to London, things were tough, but it wasn't all my fault. It looks almost natural.
But you were caught texting.
Sexting?
Sexting? But they didn't teach you that at Oxford.
Cambridge?
They were rather salacious messages.
How would you describe your relationship with the sweet swan?
Lizzie had Frank reported for stalking.
Behave yourself, boys.
Sorry.
Sorry. Look, can I just say, though, that for the record, the Countess is a lovely girl and very misunderstood.
Oh, really?
Forget what you read in the gossip columns, Martina. Anne knows the truth. That's all that matters. In fact, I've just bought a new house. Biggest and best in town.
Second best according to this.
Says who?
At Lord of the Manor, Stratford.
Yeah.
Second best bed too, and that one's from your wife.
So you and Anne are not together at the moment?
No. We're not getting divorced either. We live in a pub, but she's still my wife, and I love her very much.
Her and half of Soho at Warwick Kappa.
I'm sure you do.
Love will tear us apart again.
You've mentioned the future before.
Yeah, the future's not what it used to be. Except for forks. I met a bloke outside the Globe last month, flogging them. He said that instead of knives and spoons, soon we'll all be using forks. I mean, I think he's right. The future's forked.
Yeah. And Anne?
Oh, women are so much more complex than men.
Complex or complicated? Do you find it hard to get in touch with your feminine side?
Only when she's in Stratford.
No wonder he has trouble writing his female leads.
Sorry.
I was going to mention that.
Sorry.
Your female characters. They never quite live up to your leading men. One critic has gone as far as saying, you have no time for women.
Sexist pig, it says here.
Fleas.
From a Miss G. Greer.
Please?
A flea circus, that's what I call them.
You do read the reviews then?
Only the good ones.
Oh, misogynist.
Bollocks.
Language, will it?
Look, the Merry Wives of Windsor. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? How can anyone say that I hate women?
The Taming of the Shrew?
I was being ironic.
That's hardly called for.
The Rape of Lucrece.
I was on Lucrece's side. Tarquin, you couldn't read between the lines if I gave you a fucking
Will you?
If I gave you a magnifying glass.
You wouldn't mind awful if I borrowed this, would you? Frailty, thy name is woman.
That's posthumous speaking, not me. It's called characterization.
Flattering hers, deceiving hers. All faults that hell knows hers. Admit it. Women mean nothing to you, nothing but old maids and bawdy wenches.
Will? Are women just stereotypes, playthings?
Housewife Catherine, she's a plaything.
She's French.
Mrs. Quickly.
I could just as easily quote Portia.
Maria.
Rosalind.
Lady
I
Macbeth.
haven't finished that one yet.
Case dismissed.
Give me back that book.
Oh, no further questions.
Listen to any one of my female leads, Frank, and I dare you to say that the opposite sex are not integral to my work, both as subject matter and as instruments for my art. It's bullshit, bacon, bloody bullshit.
Behave, I said. Derek?
Well, I'm not sure this one will help, but don't listen to them, Will. You're no more a misogynist than I am. At the former Prime Minister.
I'm sorry, Martina, I shouldn't.
I'm not the only one that writes, so you know. You haven't told them about your little efforts, Francisco Baccuno. You see, when Frank was young, he used to send in scripts to all of the companies, back in his philosophising days. Back before Daddy said he had to get a proper job and sent him off to law school.
It was nothing serious.
Oh, don't do yourself down, Frank. If I remember right, you were adamant that the theatre was everything. You're really stuck between a rock and a hard place now, though, aren't you? Skint. Rumour has it. Bankrupt. Daytime television.
Tell me, Martina, which empowering female lead from Williams you play most attracts you? Is it the barking mad sister who throws herself in the lake? Or the sex-starved widow who jumps in bed with her husband's brother before the corpse is even cold? Ooh, and the hero's got a mother complex. How original!
Hamlet's about a lot more than...
Well, actually, William, you still haven't told us what it is about.
It's because it's about so many things.
It's about his father!
No, it's not.
The ghost that stalks Hamlet.
Don't.
Come on, Will, the audience has a right to know!
Oh, nobody has any right.
What's the matter, Bad Bill?
You fucking eyes!
Oh!
They're all
And this is live
Here's what I'm
television!
telling you. My words. You couldn't even spell my words. You're pathetic. You see this stagger here before you. I wouldn't give you the satisfaction. You fight like you fuck, Bacon. You fight like you fuck.
And out!
Will, you can't leave.
Watch me how to deal with the network.
Well, come on. If you walk out now, so the network who suffers.
So?
So, what about Martina? What about me? They've been threatening to drop me for months now, mate. We don't get that second series, that's me finished. Straight back to Jack the Porter. Do not pass go, not collect £200.
You'll get another gig. Porter.
Jack Porter? Portering is what I do when I'm not doing this. I mean, it's gatekeeping, night watchman, glorified security, really.
Porter.
Duke is just my stage name. There's always a part for a Duke.
Look, I had an idea for a porter for my new Scottish play. I reckon you could be just about
You
right.
don't remember me, do you?
No.
Comedy of errors. Crowd control. Stepped in when Dromio got sick.
JP.
Jack Porter. You still owe me for that, by the way. 50 quid.
All right. But I want him off the show.
Chillax, man.
Chillax.
Yeah.
He tried to have the Globe shut
The
down.
Queen's censors put him up to that. Everybody knows.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What? He's probably the one that told Anne about the sweet
He
swan.
doesn't even know Anne. Look, he might be little Lord this, la-di-da that, but he's suffered too, much as the rest of us.
Suppose.
All right, knock knock.
What?
Come on, you can do better than that. Knock knock.
Who said?
Wherefore?
Wherefore who?
Wherefore art thou? Fuck, it's not right. Okay, hold on. So Shakespeare walks into a bar, right? The barman says, "Get out."
You barn!
Not that I'm saying you're in the wrong. What I am saying is that you're the genius.
Yeah, which is why I tell the network to go and fuck themselves.
No, mate, don't you get it? It's because you're cool. You stay on the show. I mean, you walk out now, who does the audience think has won?
Lard ass bacon rind.
Exactly.
All that philosophers crap.
Oh.
Look into my crystal ball. Where's he get his clothes? The blind shop.
Exactly, right? And the cat's the one that licks the cream. You know what I'm saying? So you go back on the show, all smooth, man, and you get in there and you just
Lick that sorry motherfucker's ass.
stroke his ass, mate. Because big people, right? Let the little people win. little.
It's a stroke,
Uh-huh.
not lick. It's deep.
Thank you.
You know, I'm serious about that porter part.
Yeah. I've heard it all before. Are you back in?
If I have to.
Well, you don't have to. You do have to. I mean, this new play really is a flop.
What doesn't help with people like Little Miss leaving halfway through,
Mate,
the Philistines.
go back to your comedies. That's money for old rope.
It's not about selling tickets, it's about...
It's about Anne, isn't it?
I wanted to see the real me.
And she will, mate. If you go back on the show.
Okay. Break a leg.
Right behind you, brother. Total twat.
Oh, he's so full of himself. I mean, when have I ever seen him?
Doesn't matter. The ratings are in. He can bad bill as much as he likes. We're 10 points up and climbing.
But he'll ruin the show. I mean, what if he doesn't come back?
They always do.
Oh,
Calm. I've told the Duke exactly what to say. He'll come back. Ice.
Frank's quite sweet, though.
Oh, I'm glad you said that. He'll be helping with the questions for the rest of the show.
What?
Too late. I've already asked him. He's only too happy.
You want other people asking questions on my show?
He knows William better than any of us. Besides, he's the best in the business right now, which is why I asked him on the show in the first place.
I do know how to interview, you know.
Joan of Arc?
I knew you'd bring that up.
Martina, we want, is a second series, right? Look, Tiger, you dig more on the sabbatical. Frank keeps needling him on Anne. The moment he lets his guard down, bang, you go in hard. Family, father, whatever it takes.
And what about his people?
But screw his people, we're this close. Hey, if he threatens to walk again, you challenge him.
My pleasure.
Tickle, tickle?
Squeeze.
Great. Right, no, Christ, I nearly forgot. What was it you said in the first half? The execution thing? Giving them the chop?
What, off with their heads?
Yes, the network loved it. Shakespeare's head on a platter. With a bacon slicer. Think of the ratings. In 5, 4.
Francis, well, I've got you all to myself.
By all means.
Well, with breakfast being such a success, does this mean you've finished with your other work, your writing?
Certainly not. There are several scientific theories I want
Oh,
to
yes,
go
your
into.
Baconian method.
Yes, well, that's what those in academia are calling it.
And philosophy?
Yes, and religion too. In my mind, you can't have one without the other, like eternal heaven and infinity. Actually, I was writing something a little earlier on. Would you like to hear it? It sounds so much deeper close up.
Oh, okay.
A little philosophy inclineth us to atheism, but depth in philosophy bringeth our minds about to religion.
A true Renaissance man.
More Reformation man, I hope, though my tastes tend to be a touch Catholic, with a small C.
With a small something.
Oh, but here's William back. What a shame.
Shame indeed.
Oh, don't be like that, Frankie boy.
Sorry, William, we were just talking about the afterlife.
Forever and ever, amen.
They say that if infinity were true, a monkey would pick up a typewriter and, given enough time, hammer out a whole book, word for word, the whole thing. Imagine that.
Now, William.
Call me Bill.
Bill.
Actually, no, I prefer it when you call me William.
What's in a name?
William,
Martini. Martinez.
tell me about the name change.
Anything to do with your father?
No. Oh, well, as it happens, yes. It's a sort of tribute.
But your father abandoned you.
I said I thought he abandoned me. That was only half the story.
Perhaps you can share with us the other half.
Perhaps I can't.
Perhaps it's time for another tweet.
This one's about a rumoured Royal Shakespeare Company from an I Heart Willie. I bet she does.
It's pub talk, Martina. Shouldn't listen to that sort of thing, should she, Frank?
Oh, the royal seal of approval.
Oh, you'll be having me up for a knighthood next.
Why
An
not?
ambassador.
Why not?
Baubles don't interest me, Martina.
Well, everyone else has one.
Not quite everyone. Perhaps I could help you, Frank. I have got a great publicist.
You once said that freedom is what drew you to drama in the first place.
Did I? Well, and it is. It's what makes a medium so powerful. Being able to jump to Venice or Italy.
Verona?
What has everyone always got against Verona?
I don't think Francis was suggesting.
I was.
Look, I like my place to cross borders, to escape.
Free Willie!
With so many of your plays set abroad, you must be a real globe-trotter.
Complete landlubber. Drake and Raleigh can have their 7 seas.
You spend a lot of time down the docks for a landlubber.
Hello, sailor.
I like to listen to the old sea dogs. What's your excuse?
You know, the two of you in many ways are very much the same.
I wouldn't go that far.
How far would you go? Denmark?
Some are suggesting you set your plays in foreign realms to escape punishment.
What?
Well, for thinly disguised attacks on affairs closer to home.
That's ludicrous.
Exemplar grati, your new Polonius character.
Exemplar gratium.
It's Latin.
It's an attack on the late Lord Burleigh, that's what it is.
You mean your late uncle, Lord Burleigh?
Completely irrelevant.
So you're not political, William.
Not since Marlowe.
Christopher Marlowe, the playwright.
Confirmed spy, traitor to the Queen.
You leave Kit out of this. Nothing was ever proved.
Nothing.
I won't speak ill of the dead.
You spoke ill of him when he was alive.
You You did accuse him of stealing your idea for Dr. Faustus.
Well, he did. Everybody knows.
Do they?
Do they?
Look, Kit was a damn fine playwright, a scholar and a gentleman. But one night, to be honest, it was kind of my fault. One night I got to tell him about this idea I had for a play. I was going to have a bloke sell his soul. Sympathy for the devil, I was going to call it. Well, next week, bam, posters up all over town for Dr. Faustus. You do the math.
Maths. Mathematics.
Whatever. Anyway, it opened exactly the same night as Richard III. Coincidence?
Didn't Faustus originate in Germany?
It doesn't matter where it came from. The point is, it wasn't Kit's.
It wasn't yours either. There's laws against plagiarism.
Here's one for you, Dukey. What do you get if you cross a legal eagle with the devil's advocate? A pain in the fucking ass.
Hold on. The I Heart Willie's back again, long one. Not sure if you've got the hang of this Twitterverse just yet, sweetheart. Let's see. Willie, you're undoubtedly the most famous creative artist our Skeptid Isles ever produced.
You've got half the world referring to England as a Skeptid Isle.
Accepted, Francis, accepted. The C is silent, as in unt.
A man not for an age, but for all time. How do you think you'll be remembered?
Are you sure that's 140 characters?
Look, if I am remembered, I want them to remember me as a man just like any other man. A father, a husband, and a son.
Hear, hear. What? It's the most intelligent thing he's said all night. Deep down, he's not a complete imbecile.
Thanks, Frank.
And professionally, William? Do you want to be remembered as a poet, a playwright?
A penny pincher, 50 quid.
Is wealth important to you?
No, I'm a businessman, Martina. So what I do, I'm not ashamed to say it, is show business, not show friends. I mean, there's no point in writing if it's not going to be read, is there, Frank?
Didn't John Webster once say you'd write a play about your own grandmother if the money was right?
Look, dear John still owes me £0.50 for the jingles we wrote in '93.
So you're not afraid of
Selling out.
being labelled commercial?
I would be happy to sell out, night after night after night. Theatre people are not perfect, Martina. Sometimes we suffer for our art, and sometimes we make compromises.
Like your nursery rhymes. Oh, sorry, epic poetry.
Like your breakfast show.
Now hang on a minute.
No, I did the poems because I wanted a challenge, something new.
Like Columbus and his New World?
Yeah, we don't know what we don't know.
Is it true you're thinking of setting a play in the New World? The Tempest?
Still a little bit to go on that one.
You should drop the and work for Facebook.
You've been inspired by the New World, haven't you, Francis?
Philosophically speaking, it does open up a number of avenues. The primitive civilizations,
Yes,
the Americas.
the Americas, Southern Africa.
Yes.
Parramatta.
Perhaps you'll find your new Atlantis.
A sort of utopia. My new book.
Oh, so you are writing again?
I'm trying.
Oh, you must.
You have my word.
Words. Sorry, that was me. I haven't had a tweet for ages.
Yes, of course. Words. You're each such masters of language. Do you have a favourite?
Ooh, what an interesting idea.
By our reckoning, Bill, you've used 27,542 different words so far over the space of your play.
27,005. Did you have someone sit down and count them? Oh, you need to get out more, Frank. I meant that in a nice way.
Do you want to hear my latest? Honorifica abilitudinatibus.
On her what?
Honorifica abilitudinatibus, the state of being able to achieve honours. 27 letters, consonant, vowel, consonant, from beginning to end. Quite clever, really.
He gets paid by the letter. It's not bad, though. How do you spell it?
Are you ever worried your words will be forgotten, Will?
Pun?
Well, with your name up in lights, your face everywhere, could your words, your work be overshadowed by you and your story?
Shakespeare, the man.
I'm no big thing. Anne will tell you.
The upstart crow? You must have known there would be some sort of backlash. I mean, even those close to you have termed you difficult.
I'd rather be called difficult than easy. Look, it doesn't matter. Life's too short.
And death?
Not afraid.
No great speeches, they're lowering you into the ground.
No.
Really, William, no regrets.
I've had a few.
You don't know me.
Avoiding the question.
You're not answering it.
You just did.
Amateur. England's finest legal man, you're clutching at straws. But he's not quite the finest anymore, ladies and gentlemen. With Essex gone, there's no more coattails to cling to, no more invitations to
Well,
court.
there's been a record number of tweets tonight, so a big thank you to everybody.
Oh, here's a good one from a Miss E. Tudor in Windsor. Ooh, well, William. Do you write all your own work?
Ignore him, Martina.
Miss Tudor must be referring to those conspiracy theories doing the rounds again.
Pull the other one, Frank.
Well, it's a simple question,
I
William.
wrote every one of them.
Some plays do seem to be slightly different.
Of course they are. I'm always rewriting, reworking, ready for the new season.
But you wrote each word.
Yes.
Every single word.
Have you tried writing a 5-act play with a quill and ink? Sometimes I write and sometimes I dictate to one of the boys.
And sometimes you get the boys together and have a focus group and they add a few lines.
I have got subs just like everybody else. It's a process. I come up with the idea. They put storyboards together, the company chooses which one I likes best, then it is down to me. The odd lines slip in here and there, of course they do.
The Earl of Oxford is claiming it's a lot more than the odd line.
Yeah. Hey, Jakey, knock knock. Come on, knock knock.
Who's there?
The Earl of Oxford.
The Earl of Oxford. Who?
Exactly. It's my work, nobody else's.
But you admitted before you've used other people's work. Holinshed, Hall.
I said reference, just as I have referenced Homer, Virgil, Ovid.
Sounds like a lot of borrowed plumes to me.
Stories, Frank, belong to everybody. All I or any playwright can do is put words in other people's mouths.
Other people's mouths? Or other people's words?
Okay, yes, technically they're not always 100% cast iron copper bottom my own words. Satisfied? Sometimes all I have to do is give Dickie one line, he's off. He rattles off a whole soliloquy before anyone can say, Armada. There am I just scribbling in my notebook trying to keep up.
That notebook.
Maybe.
Can we have a look at it?
Look all you want.
These scribbles in the margin, whose are they?
When you're told that Her Royal Majesty wants a play by Monday, you don't care who's making notes on a Sunday.
Must hold all your secrets.
All my ideas, yes. To be honest, Frank.
Let's be honest, shall we, William? Hand on heart, this notebook is not yours, it's your father's.
Sorry?
Are you embarrassed about your father?
Are you?
Oh, we've already played that game, Will. His family weren't always Glovers, were they, Willie?
What?
How would you describe their lifestyle, bohemian or gypsy?
Like my grandfather was a minstrel, so what?
Is that why you don't travel?
Scared you won't stop wandering?
Aren't lawyers supposed to stick to the facts?
It's a fact your father left your mother.
It's a fact he came back like he promised!
Did he promise anything to you?
No!
Nothing?
No, I said.
That he'd take you with him?
I mean, how many times?
But he left you his notebook.
Oh, he left me nothing but a sister with a broken heart!
Was that notebook originally your father's?
Found it in the attic rafters 3 weeks after he left. That's when I knew.
That he wasn't coming back.
What was in it?
Different things. Poems, thoughts, pictures. Just thoughts mostly.
His ideas?
His ideas.
You never saw him again?
One night a few years ago. Backstage of the cockpit. I didn't recognise him at first, he just hung back quiet like. Thought he might be one of those weirdos. When he came up, he put out his hand and he said, "How's it going, Bill? It's been a while."
Bill, not Will.
So that's when it clicked.
Why that night?
See me all grown up, I don't know.
Well, how's your relationship with your father now?
Do you want the long or the short answer?
What's the short answer?
Good.
And the long answer?
Not good.
He didn't come to find you backstage that night, did he?
What's your step, Bacon?
He's never come to see one play, not one single performance.
Is that true?
Don't listen to him.
The ghost that stalks Hamlet.
Did you write Hamlet to exercise his ghost?
When I was little, we used to talk for hours about anything.
Is that in there? Your father's notebooks, the stories in that book, that's where you get your plays from.
That's why he never comes to see your show.
No, it's not!
Hamlet's soliloquies, were they his idea too?
Fuck you!
I'll take that as a no.
Fuck you!
Ooh, Ooh, manners maketh the man, William.
It's a legitimate question, William. How do we know they're your plays, not your father's or Marlowe's or Oxford's?
Probably copied him off the internet.
I heard that.
You've already admitted you didn't write every word.
It's conspiracy
It's
theory.
hardly-
I'll give you a theory. A theory about theories. Theories are like arseholes. Everybody's got one, and they're usually full of shit. You can have that one, Juki.
Genius.
People can't handle genius, Martina. Right, Frank?
Me?
Yeah, he may have been born with a silver spoon sticking out of both ends, but he understands.
Well, I'll take that as a compliment.
So
thank
you do read Francis's work?
Some of it.
You bought my advancement of learning.
Borrowed. It's claptrap, of course, but you get it. Let me tell you about genius, Martina. It takes a genius to recognise a genius. I mean, an ant looks at an elephant and thinks, well, this is absurd. Must be a bunch of ants working together. I mean, I get letters insisting that my work's by Ben Jonson. Hasn't he written enough? They say that my plays are by a woman, which I find flattering, but if your earlier comments are anything to go by, I'd be a woman who has no time for women. I have time for women, Martina. They even say it's Francis. Francis and one of his committees. Sorry, but I have to draw the line, Frank. Look, Holinshed gave Richard his hunch, and my father drew Juliet up on her balcony, but these victorious wreaths which bind my brow are mine.
But how do we know?
How do we know about Hamlet?
How? Because when the curtain falls, there are 4 slaughtered bodies on the stage, 4 corpses, all mine. My sister, my childhood, my marriage, and my son. My son. How do we know? How do you know what it's like to grieve for a son?
Of course, King John. Grief fills up the room of my absent child.
He was so happy.
Hamlet?
Hamnet, with an N, William's son.
12 months, 21 days, 7 hours.
12 months? The sabbatical.
That's why he stopped writing.
Nobody's quite sure what happened. All the doctors could say was that it wasn't the plague.
You lost your only son?
He died in my bed. My bed.
Grief. Grief fills up the room of my absent child.
You see, you find those words in his notebook.
It's okay. It's okay, Will. It's right to grieve.
He died 2 hours before I arrived. Grandad used to say that April was the cruelest month, but I never understood before then. To create life, to feel that excitement, that energy, all your plans, your dreams, and then to have them all taken away, no warning, no rehearsal.
It's okay, William. Take your time.
Every day when you wake up, it hits you, just like the first time. I never thought I'd write again. I just sat in my room thinking, flicking through his notebook.
It's all right, Will.
But if Hamlet really is yours, why has your father not come to see the show?
Perhaps he doesn't know.
He knows. I sent him a copy of the script so he could see that I'd done it. For myself, for him.
For him.
Did you get a reply?
Act 3, Scene 1. Hamlet's soliloquy. Life's life, son. It's what you make it. I mean, he's the one who stopped writing. He's the one who sinned against his talent. I'm just
Hamlet's soliloquy. To live or not to live?
That is the question.
Don't you see, that's what I'm trying to do, just to live, to be a father, be a son.
At least you know your limitations.
I'm not scared of them. Not like him, I'm not the one running away. All I wanted was some gratitude.
Gratitude?
Yeah, respect. I tried, I really tried. I got him the coat of arms that he always wanted. It's not enough, never enough.
To live or not to live, to be the Father's son.
But for the sins of the father not to be revisited.
To be or not to be.
I mean, why can't... Say that again.
To be or not to be?
That's it. To be or not to be. You wouldn't mind if I...
Did a bit more referencing? On the house, you can have that one, Will.
Oh!
Oh!
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I believe that really is it for this edition of Tonight's the Night. A night I, for one, will never forget. To play you out.
Hey, Will, how about you join me up in here for the last one, mate? Rip out a solo or something.
No, it's all right.
Oh, go
Come
on.
on.
To play you out, let's hear it for a father, a son, and a piece I think we're going to be hearing quite a lot of. To live or not to live.
No, Martina, it's to be or not to be. Nice one, Frank.
Ladies and gentlemen, to be or not to be. That is all we have time for. Good night.
Our revels now were ended, and our actors, as I foretold, are melted into... do you just want to know what happened? Just this once? Alrighty then. So William kept on with his tragedies, and to everyone's surprise, it actually worked out rather well. Hamlet certainly worked, with 2,698,904 performances in 176 countries and 84 languages. It's the most performed play of all time. But only because everybody cuts the shit bits. Still, after A Tempest and A Winter's Tale, Will finally hung up his quill, moved back to Stratford, and spent his last few years chillaxing with the girls. Did he ever see his father again? Nobody knows. Martina! Okay. Hold on, sorry. Get stuffed, Mum. One last tweet, here we go. Okay, what do you get if you cross a Shakespeare play with a small pig? A Hamlet? No? No, fair enough, no. Where was I? Martina, the hostess with the mostess. Well, she got her second series and 3 more. Logie winner, no less. But then she was dumped for a younger model. As new head of network, Jane said she had no other choice. Francis got his knighthood eventually, and the New Atlantis became the Magnus Opus he'd always wanted. A real page-turner. But the Royal Society was founded in his honour, so he must have been doing something right. Oh, me. Oh, thank you. Well, I hit the big time. Macbeth, the porter, went viral. But then I started seeing the Sweet Swan. 6 months later, she was up to duff, and now she wants another. Jesus, I better go. She reckons that tonight's the night.
Jack, I'm ready, my sweet little muffin!
Does anybody have a Viagra? Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was Shakespeare Tonight, written by the wonderful Paul Wilson with Mr. Tim Ferguson. Yes, indeed. And a big hand for our director, Mr. Pete Malicki. And now, here's your cast. Introducing Miss Susie Q as Jane. Yes, indeed. What a headset. Fantastic. Miss Rosemary Gowsey as Martina Fleur. You can buy that dress. It's available. Miss Michaela James as Francis Bacon. The hits, the highlights are real. Mr. Damien Carr as William Shakespeare. What a beard, what facial hair. And Miss Jemima Knight is our stage manager, production manager, and Sunday Road stage manager.